Have you ever wondered why so many people dream about visiting the United States, even if they have never been there before? There are more secrets hiding in America than you might think, and some of them will completely surprise you. Most people only see New York or Hollywood in movies, but the real America is much bigger, and it is full of surprises at every turn. Imagine a country where you can wake up in the desert, drive for a day, and then fall asleep by the ocean with tall mountains in between. The United States is like a giant puzzle made up of 50 states, and each state is like a new piece with its own flavor, its own weather, and its own stories. Some states are famous for hot sun and long beaches, like California and Florida. Others have tall, snowy mountains, deep forests, and lakes that shine like glass, such as Colorado, Montana, and Minnesota. Did you know Alaska is so cold and wild that some towns can only be reached by plane or boat? Or that Hawaii, with its beautiful beaches and volcanoes, is more than 3,800 kilometers away from California, right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. In America, you can drive for hours and never see the same thing twice. There are deserts in Arizona where the ground is red and the air feels like a hot oven. And there are green fields in Iowa where the only sound is the wind moving through the tall corn. Maybe you have heard of the Grand Canyon, a place so big and deep that you could put a whole city inside and still have room left. Or Niagara Falls, where water crashes down with a sound so loud you can feel it in your chest. You might see cities with tall buildings that touch the clouds, like New York or Chicago, but also small towns where everybody knows your name and life is slow and peaceful. Every corner of the United States has a story waiting to be told, and every place is a new adventure, even for people who have lived there all their lives. So, if you thought you knew America just from the movies, get ready, because the real story is about to surprise you even more. The people and their dreams. People in the United States come from almost every country in the world, and that is what makes America truly special. When you walk down a street in a big city like Los Angeles or New York, you might hear people speaking Spanish, Chinese, Vietnamese, or Arabic, all mixed together with English. Every person brings their own traditions, food, music, and dreams, and when these come together, they create something new and exciting every single day. Some families have lived in the United States for many generations, while others arrived just last week, looking for a fresh start or a better future. Have you ever heard of the American dream? It is the idea that anyone, no matter where they were born or how much money they have, can work hard and have a good life in America. Some people want to become rich, some want to study in a famous university, and others just want a safe place for their families. This dream is so powerful that it has brought people to America for hundreds of years, from every continent, by boat, by plane, and sometimes by foot, with nothing but hope in their pockets. But the American dream is not only about becoming rich or famous. It is about having the freedom to choose your own path, to make your own decisions, and to be who you want to be. Many Americans are proud of their country because they believe that anything is possible if you try hard enough. Of course, life is not perfect, and not everyone finds what they are looking for right away. But if you ask people in the U.S. about their lives, most will tell you they are grateful for the chance to chase their dreams, no matter how difficult it can be. You can see these dreams everywhere, in small businesses on busy streets, in music played in city parks, and in families celebrating holidays from around the world. America is like a patchwork quilt, made of millions of different dreams, all stitched together to make one big, colorful story. Famous symbols and stories. If you close your eyes and think about the United States, what is the first picture that comes to your mind? Maybe you see the American flag, with its red and white stripes and 50 white stars on a blue background, waving in the wind. Or maybe you think of the Statue of Liberty, a giant green woman holding a torch high above her head, standing on an island in New York Harbor. This statue was a gift from France, and for more than 100 years, it has welcomed people from all over the world who dream of a new life. Some people imagine the White House, the big white building where the president lives and works in Washington, D.C., or the long and famous Route 66, a road that goes across the country, full of stories and surprises. There are so many symbols that tell the story of America, and each one is special in its own way. America's story is also full of big moments in history. Long ago, people in the 13 original colonies decided they wanted to be free from England, so they wrote the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. Now, every year on this day, Americans celebrate with fireworks, picnics, and parades. Another important moment was when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, fighting for equal rights and justice for all people, no matter the color of their skin. Or when the whole world watched as American astronauts walked on the moon for the first time in 1969, showing that even the wildest dreams can come true with hard work and courage. And did you know that many things we use every day were invented in the United States? Things like airplanes, the internet, and even chocolate chip cookies first appeared in America, thanks to creative minds who wanted to solve problems or just make life sweeter. There are thousands of stories like these, and they are all part of what makes the United States such an interesting place to learn about. Life in the USA, the good, the bad, and the surprising. Living in the United States can feel like riding a roller coaster. Sometimes life is exciting and full of surprises, and other times it is hard and confusing. Many people want to move to America because they hope for a better life, good jobs, and new adventures. But real life in the USA can be different from what you see on television. Some people find it easy to settle down and make new friends, while others feel lonely or homesick, especially when everything feels so big and different from home. Cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami are full of bright lights, music, and busy streets where something is always happening, but not everyone enjoys the noise and fast pace. In smaller towns, people might know all their neighbors and spend their weekends at football games, church, or family barbecues, and life moves more slowly, with less stress, but sometimes fewer choices. Food in the USA is another adventure. Some Americans eat pizza, hamburgers, or tacos, but there are also dishes from every part of the world, from Vietnamese pho to Italian pasta, thanks to all the different people who live there. School and work life in America can be tough, with lots of homework for students and long hours for workers. But people also celebrate holidays and take road trips to visit family or see new places. For many people, the best thing about America is the feeling that you can always start again. You can change your job, move to a new city, or learn something new at almost any age. But there are also challenges. Some people find life expensive, with high prices for houses, health care, and university. Others struggle with learning English, understanding American jokes, or making new friends. Sometimes people miss their home country so much it hurts. Yet, even when life is hard, people in America often help each other. Neighbors might bring you soup when you are sick, or strangers might show you the way when you are lost. There are problems everywhere, but there is also kindness, and that is something many people remember long after they leave. The problem or challenge. But not everything in the United States is easy, and even the biggest dreams can face big challenges. When people move to America, many of them imagine a land where everything is possible, but soon they find some things are harder than they thought. For example, finding a good job can be difficult, especially if your English is not strong or if you do not have friends or family to help you. Some people feel very lonely at first, because they miss their old home, and it can be hard to make new friends when you are in a different country with different customs. Life can also be expensive, and sometimes people have to work two jobs just to pay for rent, food, and school. Even people who were born in America can face problems, like losing a job, getting sick, or feeling left out because of the color of their skin or where their family comes from. Children may feel confused at school if they speak another language at home, and their parents may feel lost when they try to understand letters or bills in English. Sometimes it feels like there are too many rules, or that people expect you to be happy and successful all the time. Some days, the American dream feels far away, almost like a story from a book, not something you can really touch. But it is important to remember that everyone has problems, no matter where they live. Even the most successful people in America have felt scared or unsure at times. What really matters is how people face these problems and what they learn from them. Exploration and development. So, how do people in the United States deal with these problems and keep moving forward, even when life gets tough? Many people learn that asking for help is not a weakness, but a smart way to find answers, whether you are new to the country or have lived there your whole life. There are groups and communities everywhere: churches, clubs, sports teams, and even language schools, where people can meet others, make friends, and feel like they belong. For many, the local library becomes a favorite place because it is free and full of books, computers, and helpful people who can answer questions about almost anything. Neighbors might share extra food during holidays or invite you to a family dinner just to make you feel welcome, even if you have only known them for a short time. In big cities, there are often special days or festivals to celebrate different cultures, where you can eat new foods, listen to music, and learn about people from all over the world, right in your own neighborhood. Children often help their parents learn English, and sometimes parents teach their kids about their home country, so the family learns together. Many people work hard to save money, help each other, and find ways to make a little happiness, even on days when things feel impossible. Sometimes, just knowing that other people have the same problems makes you feel less alone and gives you courage to try again. Even if someone has to start at the very beginning, doing a simple job or learning English from the first word, they can still find success, step by step, day by day. In America, people often say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, which means when things are hard, strong people keep trying until they reach their goal. Over time, many people discover that the biggest lesson is not about getting rich or famous, but about learning, growing, and not giving up no matter what happens. The story of overcoming. Let me tell you a true story that shows how powerful hope and courage can be in the United States. There was a young woman named Maria who moved to America from another country, bringing only one suitcase and a dream to build a better life for her family. At first, Maria did not understand much English, and everything felt confusing, from finding a job to talking to her neighbors. She worked in a small bakery every morning, cleaning floors and washing dishes, sometimes for 12 hours a day, just to save enough money for her family. Many days she wanted to give up, especially when she felt homesick and alone in a new world. But Maria did not stop trying. She went to night school to learn English, even though she was tired from working all day. She asked questions, made mistakes, and kept going, one small step at a time. After 1 year, Maria was able to speak English well enough to help customers in the bakery and even teach her children to read their first storybooks in English. People in her neighborhood began to know her name, and some became close friends, sharing meals and stories together. Slowly, Maria's life changed. She got a better job, her children did well in school, and she felt more at home each day. Maria's story is not special because she became rich or famous, but because she faced hard times, kept believing in herself, and found a way to build a new life, even when it seemed impossible. Her story shows that in the United States, the journey is not always easy, but anyone who keeps going can find a new beginning. Just like Maria, everyone has a different path, and every challenge is a chance to grow stronger and discover something new. So, what can we learn from the story of Maria and from the many people who live in the United States? The USA is not just a country full of big cities, famous places, and interesting foods, but a land where millions of stories happen every single day. Some stories are about joy and success, while others are about struggle and hope, but every story teaches us something new. If you ever travel to America or meet someone from there, remember that behind every smile, there may be a journey you cannot see. Learning English, moving to a new country, or starting anything new will always have difficult moments. But it is those moments that make the final result so meaningful. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is keep trying, even if it feels scary or you make mistakes along the way, because every small step counts and brings you closer to your dream. America is often called the land of opportunity, not because everything is easy, but because it is a place where you can keep trying and growing, no matter where you start. Maybe you will visit the USA one day, or maybe your own journey is just beginning right where you are. Either way, remember that your story matters, and you are never alone as you learn and grow. Before you go, here is a fun fact. There are more than 300 million people living in the USA, and every single one has a story worth telling. What will your story be? If you want to learn about another amazing country or hear more inspiring stories, make sure you watch the next video on the screen.